The INFJ is often a misunderstood personality type. They are often seen as mysterious, compassionate, and intelligent, but they can also be difficult to get along with. Here are 13 reasons why people should not test the INFJ. First, they will prove people wrong. The INFJ type is often misunderstood and undervalued. They are the rarest personality type, making up only 1% of the population, and they are known for their deep thinking and complex emotions. INFJs are often considered to be shy, introverted, and analytical. But despite their unique characteristics, many people underestimate the INFJ because they don't understand their motivations or how they think. The INFJ personality type is often misunderstood because people don't understand their motivations or how they think. They are often considered to be shy, introverted, and analytical, but this is only a part of who they are. The real reason why people should not test the INFJ is because they will prove people wrong. Their deep thinking and complex emotions will show everyone that there is more to them than meets the eye. Second, they will make everyone envious. There are many INFJs who may be drawn to the personality type because they identify with its strengths. However, like any other personality type, there are certain drawbacks to being an INFJ. One of the biggest reasons why people should not test the INFJ is that they will make everyone envious. INFJs are often very intelligent and have a lot of knowledge about various subjects, which can be a huge asset to any organization or group. However, because of their introverted nature, they may not feel comfortable sharing this information with others. This can lead to them feeling isolated and out of the loop, which is not only frustrating but also detrimental to their productivity as an individual. Third, they often have a lot of insight and can see things that others can't. The INFJ personality type is often seen as one of the most insightful and talented personality types. They often have a lot of insight and can see things that others can't. This can make them difficult to work with, as they may be able to see the flaws in an idea before anyone else does. They are also sometimes difficult to deal with because they are so deep in understanding. Fourth, they can crush anyone's self-esteem. The INFJ is one of the rarest personality types in the world, and as such can be quite difficult to understand. They are often seen as gentle, sensitive souls who are able to see the best in people, even when others cannot. However, this gentle nature can also make them vulnerable, especially when it comes to their self-esteem. INFJs often struggle with confidence because they care so much about others. They may be too soft or too caring to stand up for themselves, which can lead to them being hurt or mistreated by other people. This can have a devastating impact on their self-esteem, making them feel like they don't belong in the world or that they are not good enough. If you are dating an INFJ, be prepared for them to be incredibly sensitive and understanding at times. But also remember that they have a strong emotional core and will not let anyone hurt them without fighting back tooth and nail. If you want someone who will always put your feelings first, an INFJ might not be the right person for you. Fifth, they can be very compassionate and caring, but they may also be very private. The INFJ personality type is often seen as one of the most compassionate and caring types of personalities. This can be a great asset, but it can also make INFJs very private. They may not want to share their thoughts or feelings with others for fear of being judged or rejected. This can make it difficult for them to form relationships and connect with others. Sixth, negativity has no place in their life. For INFJs, the world is a beautiful place to explore and discover. They are always looking for ways to help others and make the world a better place. However, they are very careful not to get wrapped up in their own personal interests or biases. INFJs abhor negativity and conflict, as it creates a negative environment that harms both parties. Rather than engaging in arguments or debates that may not be productive, INFJs prefer to focus on understanding and supporting their peers. This gentle approach often leads to more fruitful discussions and relationships. Seventh, they can unintentionally embarrass people. The INFJ personality type is often seen as one of the most mysterious and complex. This is because INFJs are often not as outwardly expressive as other personality types and can be difficult to understand or read. This can make them difficult to work with, especially if they are not aware of how their actions may be perceived by others. INFJs can unintentionally embarrass people by not understanding social norms or being unaware of how their words might be interpreted. They may also be unaware of the fact that they have a strong impact on others and may not realize how their words or actions might affect others. INFJs should take care when working with others to ensure that they are aware of social norms and the possible consequences of their actions so that misunderstandings do not occur. 8th, they may lash out whenever they want to. The INFJ is often seen as a peaceful and calm personality type, but this can only be true if they are not pushed to the brink. INFJs commonly react strongly when they feel threatened or unsupported, which can lead to them lashing out at anyone who gets in their way. They may become fixated on one particular idea or person, making it difficult for them to cooperate or communicate with others. INFJs are also highly individualistic, so they may not be compatible with those who prefer structure and routine. 9th, they may be very loyal to those they care about, but they can also be very independent. The INFJ personality type is often seen as one of the most loyal and supportive of others, but they can also be very independent. This can be a good thing, as INFJs are usually very committed to their relationships and will do whatever it takes to keep them healthy. However, this independence can also lead to misunderstandings and conflict with others. INFJs are usually very perceptive people who are able to see the forest rather than the trees. As a result, they may be able to see things that other people might not see. However, this same perceptive nature can sometimes lead to INFJs being too attached or invested in their relationships. They may become too focused on what others are doing or saying instead of focusing on their own interests or goals. Overall, INFJs are a loyal and supportive personality type that can sometimes cause conflict with others due to their independent nature. However, overall they make great friends and allies due to their dedication and commitment to those around them. 10th, they will provoke you. There are many reasons why someone might test the INFJ. They could be trying to provoke a reaction, or they could simply not understand the INFJ's personality. Regardless of the reason, testing an INFJ can often be frustrating and counterproductive. The INFJ will likely be provoked by the other person's behavior, and this will only serve to further conflict and confrontation. The INFJ is typically sensitive and empathetic, so testing them will often result in them feeling hurt, misunderstood, and unsupported. 11th, they are often quite creative and have a lot of initiative. INFJs often have a lot of creative energy and initiative. While this is great for many things, it can also lead to them being overachievers. This can often cause them to be overwhelmed and stressed, which can in turn lead to them not taking the time for themselves that they need. Additionally, since INFJs are so creative, they may be tempted to put all of their energy into their work and neglect their personal lives. Lastly, because INFJs are so intuitive, they may be drawn to people or situations that are not good for them. 12th, they can subtly remind people of their insecurities. The INFJ personality type is often thought of as one that is gentle and caring. However, this personality type can also have a subtle way of reminding people of their insecurities. This can make them difficult to work with, as they may be constantly probing for any weaknesses that they can exploit. INFJs should be careful not to let their gentle nature get in the way of their career or personal goals. 13th, they may be very intelligent and have a lot of knowledge, but they may also be very analytical. When it comes to judging people, INFJs are usually very insightful. However, because of their analytical nature, they may be overwhelmed by the amount of information they take in. This can lead them to misjudge people, especially if they don't have a lot of experience with them. Additionally, INFJs are often very good at understanding complex concepts and systems, which can make them great researchers and scientists. But this also makes them vulnerable to becoming bored with ordinary life. Because of this, It is important for INFJs to stay grounded and keep things interesting for themselves as well as for those around them. 14th, they are often good at problem solving, but they may also be difficult to get along with when things get complicated. The INFJ personality type is often described as being intelligent, sensitive, and contemplative. They are good at problem solving, but they may also be difficult to get along with when things get complicated. This can be a challenge for INFJs because they need to be able to process a lot of information and create plans quickly in order to effectively navigate their environment. Additionally, INFJs may have difficulty expressing themselves clearly due to their introverted nature and tendency towards taking things slow. As a result, they may not always be able to get their point across or understand others' intentions. Because of these factors, it can be difficult for INFJs to form close relationships. However, the qualities that make them so successful in the world can also make them incredibly valuable allies and friends when they are able to connect with others on an authentic level.